This is CSI Today. Today!
Welcome to CSI Today, Mavericks. I am Renee Flores.
And I'm Anna Simpson. This just in, the news.
Are you, Mavericks, aware of what's going on in the world? Have you heard of the terrorist group ISIS?
They're not good.
I know that they're a terrorist group that has been terrorizing the Mideast.
They are an Islamic extremist group in the Middle East whose intentions are to destroy those who don't believe what they believe.
Not even truly as Islamic as they claim to be. In fact, a lot of their morals go against what the Quran teaches, and therefore they shouldn't even be regarded in the world of Islam.
So apart from religion, don't you think that maybe they're doing this for political power instead of trying to make religion an excuse to do this?
I mean, I'm sure like the leaders of ISIS have political reasons for doing this, such as controlling a large portion of the oil exportation in the Middle East. But I think they're using religion as an excuse to do what they're doing.
ISIS, otherwise known as the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, has shocked many individuals across the globe with their harmful acts of violence.
One of the current acts ISIS has done is the destruction of Iraqi artwork. An unnamed militant offers the following explanation. These antiquities and idols behind me were from people in past centuries and were worshipped instead of God. When God Almighty orders us to destroy these statues, idols, and antiquities, we must do it, even if they're worth billions of dollars. The destruction took place in the Mosul Museum in Iraq, one of the most important museums in the Middle East. The group has bulldozed, blown up, or otherwise destroyed churches, shrines, and mosques across the country, as well as ancient statues, artifacts, and archaeological sites. Using Twitter, ISIS and its operatives have posted multiple photos of religious buildings being demolished.
In addition, ISIS was threatening the co-creator of Twitter. On March 1st, 2015, during a late Sunday night, Jack Dorsey and his employees were threatened by ISIS due to the banning of jihadist Twitter accounts. According to Agostino Fontevecchia, a Forbes magazine staff member, these extremists used threat as a strategy for their messages to go viral through social media. The jihadists warned Dorsey that the Twitter's buildings and people are not safe from the threat of lone wolf attacks. Moreover, Amir Al-Dib, a software developer building GIS applications, translated one of the messages sent by the extremists, in which it stated, "How will you, Jack, protect your helpless employees when their necks become an official target?"
Another act of terror that ISIS has done is the capture and murder of Jordanian pilot Moath al-Kasabe, also releasing a video published earlier this month. The video shows militants burning alive the Jordanian Air Force pilot, whose plane had crashed in Syria earlier this month. Jordan has executed 2 ISIS-linked prisoners, including a would-be female suicide bomber, in retaliation to the extremists releasing the horrifying video.
The terrorist group is doing this to create an Islamic government led by Caliph, a person considered a political and religious successor to the Prophet Muhammad and a leader to the entire Muslim community. Their acts of terror are happening more and more frequently and is becoming a threat worldwide. That is why you, Mavericks, should be aware. A hot topic in Congress lately is the Keystone oil pipeline proposal. President Obama vetoed the proposal on Tuesday, February 23rd of this year, citing inadequate environmental studies and a failure to follow proper preparation protocol. Congress is expected to attempt an override of his veto. The original request for the Keystone Pipeline was submitted to Congress in 2010, along with formal commission requests which were revised in 2012.
The XL pipeline would begin in Alberta, Canada, and split off into Nebraska, with 2 endpoints in Texas and Illinois. This would make the pipeline 1,179 miles long overall, spanning 9 states and 2 Canadian provinces. The $7.6 billion project would deliver 830,000 barrels of oil a day from Western Canada to the United States.
There are several reasons why the president decided to veto this commission, including environmental problems, the possibility of oil spills, and whether the pipeline's creation is actually in the nation's best interest.
People who disagree argue that the pipeline's construction would create new employment opportunities and that it would give an estimated $3.4 billion back to the American economy. It would also decrease the weight of our reliance on oil sources that exist in countries overseas. On a related note, if you've ever wondered how the bill-making process works, now's the time to learn. Here's Julissa Ochoa to tell us more.
Woo, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's...
First, an idea for a new law comes to mind. This idea can come from a government official or any citizen. This idea is then created into a bill, where the Senate committee members examine it carefully. If the committee does not act on the bill dies. However, if they all agree that the bill can be helpful as a law, then it is referred to the subcommittee for further study and hearings. Hearings provide the opportunity to make any changes in case the bill can improve. If the subcommittee does not completely approve on the bill, it dies. If they vote for the bill, it is sent to either the House of Representatives or the Senate for further examination. If the House or the Senate approve the bill, it is then sent to the opposite chamber, where it follows the same route through the committee and floor action. Either side can either reject it, ignore it, change it, or approve it as it's received. Both sides will then review the changes they made to try reaching an agreement. If they cannot compromise, the bill does not reach legislation. If they can agree on the changes they want made, the bill is then sent to the president. If the president approves of this bill, he signs it, making it a law. However, if the president does not take action for 10 days while Congress is in session, it would automatically become law. If the president declines the bill, he can veto it. Or if he takes no action after the Congress has adjourned its second session, it becomes a pocket veto, and the bill dies. If the president vetoes the bill, Congress can still override the veto. If both the Senate and the House pass the bill by 2/3 majority, the president's veto is overruled and the bill becomes a law.
Bill, he signed your bill, now you're a law. Oh, yes!
Thanks, Julie, for that insight on the legislative process.
And now for today's top story, net neutrality. On February 26th, the FCC reclassified the existing net neutrality rules under Title II of the Communication Act.
For those of you who don't know, the FCC, or Federal Communications Commission, is an independent agency of the United States government to regulate interstate communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable.
Net neutrality is expected to affect internet service providers by giving level ground to both small and large companies, abolishing paid prioritization. In addition, this change serves to help the consumer, eliminating discrimination of online trafficking. The definition of net neutrality is the concept that broadband internet service providers should distribute non-discriminatory access to internet content and platforms and should not manipulate the transfer of data regardless of its source or destination. In May of 2014, FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler presented a plan that would give companies like AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon the advantage of paid prioritization.
Still confused? Think of net neutrality as a highway. Broadband networks like Comcast that provide internet services are the toll booths on the road. The cars represent all online companies, from companies as big as Netflix to small local businesses trying to expand their market. Paid prioritization is similar to the Netflix car bribing the toll booth to get through the traffic faster, therefore getting their content to their users faster. Little companies, however, get stuck in the traffic because they don't have the extra money to bribe the toll booth. Their content gets to the user more slowly. Net neutrality prevents popular broadband networks from taking advantage of online companies. With a ban on paid prioritization, all cars get through the toll for the same cost at the same speed. As a result, consumers wouldn't be discouraged from using the smaller competing companies' websites because the movies on their website would load at the same speed as Netflix.
According to the New York Times, this change has been described as a milestone in regulating high-speed internet service into American homes. With this change, internet service will now be regulated as a public utility. What that means is that the internet service will now be treated like things such as water or electricity. in that the supplying of it's fair for everyone, and the amount of money you will have will no longer affect the quality of it. That's all we have for today, Mavericks. I'm Renee Flores.
And I'm Anna Stimson.
And remember, Mavericks, La Felicia. Welcome to CSA Today.
Dude! What is this class? CSA Today.
Welcome to today.
Why is no one talking?
I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Why is no one talking? Oh my gosh. It's so funny. A hot topic in Congress. A hot topic in Congress lately is the Keystone Oil Pipeline proposal. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I had it.
because Renee.
Well, I would say that I was. Spirit!